The internet has this odd competition about who or what is real. Real as in like this person, they're authentic. They're not fake. Yo, I'm the realest dude on this Discord server, bro. I'm the realest streamer. I'm the realest YouTuber. Everyone else out here, they fake, bro. And people will believe it because they measured their success. I mean, look, you're well off or successful by some standards. So, I guess the rest of us are just lame, or it's convenient for you if we follow you or subscribe to you in some way that we're also real now because it benefits you and your platform, right? It's just very interesting to me that someone's financial success or influencer success automatically makes them an authentic person. The more you acquire, apparently, the realer you are. And I also find this very misleading for content creators who speak without fear of consequence. Look, just because someone is speaking or calling something out despite knowing professional, personal, or reputational consequences will come, and speaking from a place of lacking filter, empathy, or thinking they're an authority on the internet or something like that, or over the internet, is unfortunately considered real to people. Like, I'm really unsure about how being an authoritative crash out is real. I think it's because people feel that you're perceived as an honest person because you're willing to call people out or certain things without filter, right? So what happens is when you're busy calling people out and everyone else, you distract people from your own character. I honestly think this is why certain channels completely base themselves, at least, on reporting on this drama filled thing, or like, there's drama filled journalism about other content creators or streamers or whatever. It's like, and the person who's doing this, right? You know nothing about their personal lives. They never make videos talking about their mistakes, their personal flaws, their hiccups, things they went through. But they got videos filled with calling people out or talking about different groups of people. They just like, yo. So since nobody can truly judge their character or put them under a microscope, it's a safe space for them and they're protected. So boom, to the untrained eye, you're real to people. They real now. They real, you know what I'm saying? Like we got no ammo, you know what I'm saying? We don't know this person's past. We don't know this person's character, but they got all this stuff to say about all these other people because they make so much content about it and this and that, Hey, they real, they real automatically. Yo, throughout my years making videos, I've always told you guys the terrible things I've done, right? The good things I've done, the mistakes I made, the things I still struggle with. But at the same time, I'll address certain behavioral observations that I'll notice in others, right? And it tends to come from a place from either experience or just analysis. I want to be vulnerable with whoever's watching the video or my videos because I want you guys to understand the context of my perspectives and what may influence my train of thoughts, right? This doesn't make me real either, though. Look, if you watch my videos long enough, I think it's very clear I'm a very transactional person. If something doesn't benefit me growing or becoming better or giving a better experience for those around me, then my moral alignment will be swayed. I want to serve to help those I love around me and give myself an ultimately positive life journey. And this oftentimes causes me to be completely disengaged with politics or social activism or anything that, well, if I entertained it, it would make me sad, mad, or frustrated. Look, a perfect way to describe this, I'm an anti-hero type of person. I'm an anti-hero. You know what I'm saying? I've seen comments where that moral alignment or like I frustrate people sometimes because I'm not crashing out over things that you would crash out over or things that are literally driving you crazy. And I'm just not, look, I'm not emotionally investing myself into it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, because I know that's going to make me sad, mad, or angry. You know what I'm saying? Like sad, mad, angry, same thing. But you get what I'm saying? Like, this is what I mean about this realness term, though. Like, the internet has made its own definition of it. Just because someone has the privilege to be on a platform or have financial abundance or something of qualitative value, it doesn't define the truth about their character. The issue is, and why people don't do this, because it's the opposite of being marketable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a fundamental difference between being a good person versus being authentic. I think most people crash out over certain social issues because there's too much risk to stay silent and not receive social validation. In my opinion, I think someone who is authentic or quote real is someone who is a true reflection of their internal consciousness. which doesn't necessarily mean someone's good, by the way, because someone's subconsciousness can be malicious, malice, right? But someone who remains themselves in their own integrity without always going for social points, like the person who is in their room by themselves and making progress and doing inner work, and they're the only person to witness it and probably will ever acknowledge or know the inner work that they're doing right now. Like, you're not trying to impress strangers. It's just that you're honest about you. You are learning and understanding and becoming best friends with your inner self, the real you, the true you. And most importantly, you're mastering how to treat yourself like a best friend. The self is the ultimate partner. When you don't need external proof or others to define your value, you recognize that the progress you made in your room alone by yourself in your lonely moments, no one else is going to acknowledge that part. Like, I think our own flaws, like the flaws that we have, the mistakes that we made, we all make crazy decisions. You know what I'm saying? We do terrible things. We all, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we just do things that are absent-minded too, and we're imperfect, right? Simply put, we're just imperfect people, right? Human beings. If any of those came from a place, though, where you feel like you can't treat yourself like a best friend because random strangers have power over you to influence you, then you don't really know yourself. And I think most of us don't ever truly reach that point unless a lot of inner work, practice, time alone, and self-reflection is done. The ego is crazy, man. Like, this takes a lifetime for people, man. It really does. Authenticity is the refusal to essentially lie to yourself every single day because of, external and social aspects or validation or social points that you want from people, or, you let someone else, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the same time, you got to have this ability to self-reflect on a level that brings your own self-awareness for your own actions and behaviors without needing other people. So how do you do that? You got to educate yourself. This is where you got to start studying things that are beneficial for you. And if you start to know yourself and understand what works for you, then you start to build, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I just reacted poorly about something. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's level to this. Like, here's the main thing, right? How do I exist within myself? I'll never be perfect to remove all the social noise. But how do I find internal peace and progress and stand strong on my feet without losing power over myself because I wanted some social points or validation? Those are the, quote, real questions. Some get to a point where their life is controlled by it. Some people, not so much. Some people, in between, right? I'm an in-betweener. I care about social things. Social validation I care about it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like oblivious to it. But at the same time, despite me caring about social things, like I mentioned, I'm a very anti-hero type of person. I care about XYZ, but I don't care about ABC, despite everyone else caring about ABC. Like, it's just like, I don't care, But the other person may take that completely differently. They will care about it and they'll let it define them, or they'll think about it too much. But, of course, certain things, like I mentioned, I care about XYZ. So certain things that are mentioned within XYZ, of course, I'm going to listen and be like, yeah, that kind of bothers me, or maybe I got to do this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm talking about here. Like, there's different levels to this realness thing that in my definition, of course, right? There's different levels to it. Some people, they're more authentic with themselves. You could tell that they're very solid internally, where external things don't really bother them. And then there's some people, it's just like their whole life is controlled by it, And I feel like when I mentioned earlier about the people who just like, their success defines their realness, I feel like that has nothing to do with the internal. That's your external here. You just because you got a bunch of money, bro, like, or you got a platform, like, it doesn't mean like, okay, you are like, what about your character though? What about the inner? What about the time that we don't get to see you? What about that? How am I supposed to know that about you? I don't even know your own life. You know what I'm saying? So what am I supposed to say about this? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to call someone real if I don't even know your personal life. What you're doing when the cameras are off, when you're not posting on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, or you're not posting on Instagram, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what haven't you shared with us? or what have you shared, and let me understand, okay, well, this is a flaw or whatever, but how is this person staying solid with who they are at the end of the day, though, despite knowing this? The progress and the self inner work that I'm talking about before. Anyway, I'm just rambling. What do you guys think? How would you define someone who is real, right? Would you consider yourself real? If you listen, hey, you gotta be honest with yourself too, because some people, they think they're real, and then their life, like, I find it interesting. I made a whole video about this. Some people to be like, yo, I'm so real, that's why I don't got friends, bro. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people are just literally miserable in life, and then they'll, like, a defense mechanism, like, I'm just too real for people, that's why nobody likes me. All right. And listen, you could live like that for the rest of your life. You don't seem very happy with your life because you clearly keep complaining about it, that you have no friends because you're too real, right? You seem miserable, you seem lonely, but, I guess that's because you're real, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyway, love you guys. I'm out.